David, starting with the Russian kid up front, so you took a rush in the second round, obviously. Talk a little about how your two picks close together like that. Does that allow you the gamble, if you will, of maybe taking a player you wouldn't normally take, or is that a guy you're going to take regardless?
That was the guy that we were going to take. I mean, in the philosophy of the draft, we said that the high part of the draft, with our first pick and our two seconds, if all possible, we try to take what we consider the best offensive forwards, and that was our first and second pick. Poile and Kamenev, those are the two guys that we exactly wanted to get. So 2 centers, lots of skill, lots of offense. That's exactly what we wanted to do.
Doherty was ranked, that's by some publications, I'm sure some teams, as almost the first rounder, and you got him in the 50s. That's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it really does. We think he's a really good prospect. Obviously, been identified as, in the U.S. program as one of the up-and-coming young guys. Going to the University of Wisconsin, that has a great track record of developing players, and especially defensemen. And we have a pretty good track record of getting defensemen out of there. So that's really seemed to be a pick that just made really good sense.
Going back to Kamenev, it's your first rush since 2004 that you drafted. Is this just because he fell in your lap, exactly who you're wanting to pick at the right time, or any other reason why you wouldn't have drafted a Russian until now, or?
Well, we kind of fell off the wagon there for a little bit, but as you know, I mean, things have really changed in terms of a little bit of their development, a little bit of the KHL situation, your ability to get these players, not get these players. It seems like it's getting to be a better situation. They're coming over and playing junior in some cases, and even players. You go back to Washington situation, they got Kuznetsov late in the first round, a player that arguably could have gone a lot higher, and some people said he'd never come over, but I think they all want to play in the best league in the world, and whether they start somewhere else, I think eventually they're all going to come over here. Again, a lot of investigation, which is our job from our scouts. Did some person, I talked to Mike Keenan, who was the coach of his team that won the championship there, just about the player and his thought process. So whether he comes over here and plays in junior hockey, or he stays over there and plays for Mike Keenan, I'm fine. I think the development will be good. Just try to get on the same page with each other. And like I say, we're dealing with 18-year-old kids, so it doesn't have to be today. It's just hopefully the next 2 or 3 years we get the right development and get there. But I know he's a real good player, so I'm certainly looking forward to having him play for us. I'd be disappointed if that didn't happen one day, because I know he has the talent to play for us.
Kelowna has produced Colton Sissons and Shea Weber in the past. What are your thoughts on Justin Kirkland?
Well, again, just like I mentioned a little bit on the University of Wisconsin, we've seen a couple of junior teams that we've had good success with, and not that we're necessarily just say we're boosted from Kelowna, but we seem to gravitate there most every year. And we think Kirkland's as a player that's really blossoming. It could be a power forward, could have some good scoring ability, and just maybe a little bit of a late bloomer. How do you say a late bloomer when kids are 17 and 18? But in terms of recognition, if you will. So, hopefully we got him in a position that other teams didn't quite see the same thing. If you remember, in 03 when we got Shea Weber, that was a real interesting situation. There was a kid that was hardly even playing. So when you went to watch him play, he wasn't even playing, and in the third period he wasn't even playing at all, and he turned out all right.
Thoughts on your last 3 picks, Arvidsson, Littinen, and Irving?
Yeah, there's always something that goes into Arvidsson is a 93 in a draft of 95s and 96s. So again, talk about late bloomer, but he's an exciting player. He's quick, he's fast, he scores. I mean, our guys think he could be one of the leading scorers in the elite league in Sweden next year. I mean, so it's again a little bit of a shot at offense. The Finnish defenseman understands a really good skater, sees the ice really well. It's a little bit of everything. I think when you get late in the draft, you're at least trying to gravitate to one quality, if you will, of a player. Irving's got a little bit of a bite to him, so you're just hoping that some of these characteristics develop enough that give him a chance to someday be a good prospect.
Arvidsson's 20. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. I was going to say, James Neal expressed some surprise with the trade yesterday. Did you get a chance to speak to him yet?
I spoke to him just after the draft. After we made the trade. It was so noisy there. I told him I'll call him on Sunday. I had Peter Lavalette, our coach, leave the bowl area and go outside where it's quieter and get a longer conversation conversation with them. I get it. I mean, it's every time I've been doing this for a lot of years. Every time we call a player, it's like a complete shock. They don't hear anything you say to them. All they hear is I've been traded to where, and you could say good things, bad things, and they don't hear anything. So I think it's going to be much better when I get home tomorrow, when I'm a little bit more relaxed. I've had a good conversation with him.
You mentioned yesterday that you're still looking to add as a center, first line center. Brian Murray just mentioned that he was talking to you about the possibility of Jason Spezza. Is that an area? And then he said that you made the Neil trade. You made the trade.
I still have one good eye. Saw that. I'm wondering if we would like to. We've been really focused in on trying to improve our forwards, and that's what we've been trying to do in the draft the last 2 or 3 years. And we've now made trades for Philip Forsberg, for Kalle Järnkrok. Now we've drafted Kevin Fiala, who we think is a good offensive player. Yesterday we traded for James Neal. I think you see with the direction, we're confident in our goaltending, we're confident in our defense. We just want to get better at our forwards. If I had it on my wish list, I would like to get a number 1 center, and we're going to try to get that. If that happens, the next couple of days, or it happens in free agency, or it happens through trade, that would be great. If it doesn't happen right now, I got patience. I don't think we have any real age problem on our team, but I think we're really getting the correct pieces to transition us to be a more competitive club than we've been in the last couple of years.
But since Brian brought since Brian brought it up himself, I don't think there's tampering here. He said that Jason didn't want to go to Nashville.
Yeah, I've talked to Brian about Jason, and I was told by he and his agent that by Brian, but I was told through his agent that he didn't want to play for us, when it was confirmed by Brian.
Did you get a chance to pitch him, Spezza?
No.
Are you hopeful?
Well, I didn't. I guess I could have this week, but I didn't after I was told he didn't want to play for us.
Are you hopeful he'll change his mind now that you have James Neal?
No.
So you won't take another run?
I mean, if they, I think this interview period doesn't work both ways. I mean, if somebody actually could call me, if they wanted to play for us. So, I think if someone saw a fit, I would possibly do that. But
if he doesn't want to be in Nashville, you don't.
I'm not going to pitch somebody if they don't want to play for us. I mean, this game is hard enough as it is. I mean, you got to be fully committed. I mean, Nashville, playing in Nashville, living in Nashville, it's fabulous. I mean, of course, I'm going to be prejudiced as the manager there, but any of you that have been there and seen what it's like, seen what the atmosphere is, and the competitiveness of our team and how hard we try, all this stuff, Nashville's a great spot. I don't get it. I mean, when you talk about winning and losing, I know everybody says I'd like to go to a team that has a chance to win the cup. Well, we're trying just as hard as everybody else to win the cup, and who knows? Maybe we're closer than anybody thinks. I mean, 2 years ago, we beat Detroit in the first round. We lost to Phoenix in a series that we should have won. There were some situations that led to that, and because of that and some other circumstances, we changed our team over front. We've got half the players on that team are gone now. So there's reasons. So we were terrible 2 years ago. We're much better last year, but we were at a real disadvantage without having Pekka Rinne, and we're trying to get back. And it's just hard to make the playoffs. And if we can make the playoffs, as we see every year, maybe we have a chance to win the cup. So, hey, I want to be optimistic. I think we're closer than a lot of people are giving us credit for.
Are you in a position where you don't feel like you should have to sell your team?
Well, you have to sell. No. You have to sell your team all the time. Don't take that the wrong way. I mean, I think a lot of players just play, if you will, and obviously there's teams that are national TV a lot more. There's more recognition, maybe of major markets. I get that, but I have no problem selling our team. I think it's an easy sell in terms of what we have on the ice, what we have off the ice, the city, the atmosphere, no state taxes. There's a lot of advantages of playing in Nashville. A lot of advantages. You can ask Paul Kariya what he thought of playing in Nashville. You can ask Peter Forsberg what he thought of playing in Nashville. Just to drop a few names of people that might be getting into the Hall of Fame. So I mean, I'm just trying to say but again, I get it. I mean, this is how the world is right now. There's a lot of entitlement.
You mentioned Philip and Kalle before. Where does Campbell fit in those kind of programs?
Which forward?
With Philip Forsberg and Colin Lionzone.
I think there's just another really good young guy with hopefully a really good upside. I mean, Phil Forsberg, we tried to put him on our team on a regular basis last year. Probably was a little bit too much. We send him to the World's Junior in Sweden. He's the captain of Sweden. He's the most valuable player in the World's Junior. You know what's going to happen. Hopefully this year we'll be better than the year older. Maybe we rushed it too much. I've heard some people say, "Well, Kevin Fiala may be able to make your team this year." I mean, that's just pretty special if you can do that. I always say the same thing. I don't want you to play a game. I want you to have a career, and we'll just try to do the right thing. If we get these kids in, like him, another week at a development camp, we'll see where we are, and just try to make the right decision. But I've got a lot of pieces that, whether it's next year, the next 2 or 3 years, I think they're going to be pretty important clogs in our team, and hopefully are going to give us more offense than maybe we've ever had before.
You talked about trying to find a center and really trying to find someone for James Neal, maybe a top line center. Did you put any feelers out today and try to do anything with your current draft selections, maybe to package something up? And
not any more today than I've already had. I mean, we've had managers meetings 2 weeks ago when we were together, and now we've been here and we've been talking all the time. So I'm pretty sure every general manager knows what I'm trying to do or to get.
Is having Neil kind of bait the hook maybe for a free agent center?
I have to believe it helps, but again, it's the timing and a lot of different things. And like I say, I'm patient. We got time. If it happens now, that would be great. If it takes a little bit more time, it's not perfect, but we do have some young kids. That, you can promote your young kids. You can keep them in the minors a little bit longer. I mean, you're looking for depth. You're looking for flexibility. You're looking for options. We're working on this.
Guys, thank you.
thank you.
Okay.